Welcome back to Stellaris Overexplained. Alright, so the Empire of Anon-Fashine has become a real problem. They've been attacking, everyone in the galaxy, and they control too much. I've established that they become a problem, so they need to be dealt with. I'm going to go ahead and declare war on them. So first off, I'm going to upgrade all of my ships. We have a truce currently because I think we broke the defensive pact with them. Anyhow, this means that we literally are incapable of declaring war on them. Some games will let you break truces for a penalty. This Stellaris, you can't. You literally are incapable of declaring war when you have a truce, which lasts for 10 years usually. So I have about 3 years until this truce expires. What I like to do before a war, make sure my ships are all ready to go. And then what I'll do is once my ships are done upgrading, I'll move them over here to the Kandara system in order to be right on the border and ready to go. So that way, as soon as I declare war, I immediately move my fleets in and start attacking. I don't have to wait for them to get into position. Make sure that you check where they could possibly attack you from. Because what will sometimes happen is that they'll have like open borders, like say if they had open borders down here and I wasn't expecting it and didn't put a fleet down over here, they might come around and attack this way. In this case, it's very unlikely that they would do that. Probably the Kandara system is the only way that the two of us can interact when it comes to a war, in my situation. But do look out for times in which someone might sneak around and hit you from an angle you're not expecting. Just follow the hyperlanes and see how would they get around to you. They'd have to go all the way around like this, and then they'd have to go through these marauders. So I'm safe from the north. They can't get me from my north. And then they'd have to come all the way around over here, then down here, then here, then here. And then they'd have to go through Ver, which has its borders closed to them. So for me, they literally can only come to me through the Kandara system, unless they have jump drives, but that's unlikely at this point in the game. It's important to know that has caught me off guard sometimes in the past where they'll attack me from an unexpected angle. In this case, I'm fine, but the other thing is that their vassals will most likely be pulled into a war, at least some of them, but they are pathetic. It won't be a problem. And the thing is that their fleets will probably be fractured among, like, the vassals' fleets will be off there. So hopefully I can hit them hard, take out the Empire of Anon-Fashine's fleets, and I should be fine. The other thing, I already built up quite a few armies in my scramble to claim my planet back from the AI. So I already have armies built up, but that's a good thing to do in advance. I'm going to go ahead and get, 2 more, just so that I have an even number of 20 ready to go. That should be fine. I can make more during the war if I need to. The other thing I'm going to do is go into policies. War philosophy, I'm going to go ahead and switch it to liberation wars because I'd like to declare a liberation war on them. Instead of conquering their territory, what I want to do is switch their ethics into mine. That's the way that I'm going to deal with this situation. I'm going to switch over to liberation wars, and then if I'm currently in cooperative, which increases my diplomatic weight and reduces border friction and increases improved relations. But if I'm going to war, you might want to consider switching your diplomatic stance because belligerent will increase your naval capacity, reduce your war exhaustion gain, and reduce your claim influence cost. I'm not making any claims, so claim influence cost doesn't do anything for me, but war exhaustion gain, pretty good. Supremacist will further reduce my war exhaustion gain and give me even more naval capacity and give me more diplomatic weight for my fleet power. At the cost of, if anyone else is in Supremacist, it'll make them really annoyed, but I don't think anyone else is. I'll go and check quickly. Yeah, no one else in the galaxy has Supremacist, so that won't hurt my relations with anyone by doing this, because normally it'll harm relations with anyone else with the Supremacist. There can only be one Supremacist in the galaxy, so to say. So I'm going to do this preemptively, so I have that war exhaustion gain reduction. And the reason I'm doing the war, do I need to strategically? Not really. The Empire of Anon-Fashine is rather friendly with me at this point. I'm doing it so that I can discuss war tactics and actually cover that, since I haven't done that yet. I've been mostly playing pacifist, but it is something I'd like to eventually get around to talking about. Oh, war declared. Ver Intersolar declared on the Commonwealth of Man. Interesting. Oh, okay. Ban organic slave trade is probably going to fail. I'm going to go do offer trade deal, favors 10, and I like to do rare resources because the AI really heavily value rare resources, or strategic resources. So usually that's the most value that you can get. Not always the best deal, but you know, it can be good. I should explain what I just did there. When I'm trying to switch a vote into my favor, I like to pick the highest diplomatic weight person that's friendly with me on the opposing side, or abstaining. Because someone that is already voting for your resolution, they're not going to need to give you their diplomatic weight. They're already supporting the resolution, so it's pointless. So you want to find an opponent that's friendly with you. So these guys are friendly with me. And that's where cooperative is very useful. If you're friendly with the entire galaxy, you can get favors from everyone. But if you're hostile with most of the galaxy, you won't be able to get as many favors. And there you go. Now I'm clearly going to win with that. I basically just took all of my rivals' power. So once you have enough of your own diplomatic weight to hold your weight, and then you have a bunch of resources, and you have a decent amount of influence gain, you can relatively simply just control the galactic community as much as you want. But that only really works if you're friendly and cooperative with the galaxy. If you're hostile, no one will like you and no one will give you their favors. Yeah, so right at this point, almost the entire galaxy is opposing me, but with the favors, literally no one can stop me at this point. I'm gonna go to other and find curator order. But tell us about the mysteries of the universe. Tell us about the Stellar Devourer. Tell us how to defeat it. I just paid the curator order to give me a damage boost. So I think I'll probably go ahead and take out the Stellarite Devourer now. They say that I should be able to win. So once my fleets are done upgrading, I'll go ahead and do that.
Ship upgrades applied.
Okay, so that's kind of, wow. A founder species, literally days before banning the organic slave trade, someone just had to sell some humans to the market, like on the last possible second. Great, thank you. Finally, it's banned though now, so that's not going to happen again.
Upgrades applied.
So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to just select all of my fleets, and we're going to go to the Romanox system to take out the Stellarite Devourer. And in the meantime, I'm going to get a science ship and a construction ship to be able to survey and claim that system. My massive armada has formed. Just looks kind of bad, but whatever. I'm going to unrestrict this system. I restricted it before. That'll prevent military fleets from just randomly moving into it. Good idea, usually. You gotta tick time a little bit. Let me assign some admirals to my fleets. Stellar Devourer. From deep within the star of the system emerges a gargantuan being larger than a typical moon. Its body radiates heat, the same wavelength of energy as the one produced by the system's star. It's eating it. The creature feasts on sunspots, devours solar flares, and we have interrupted its meal. The beast exudes light waves, rapid pulses at an intense frequency, like a fluorescent roar. Disconcerting.
Engaging hostile forces.
Die. The great battle commences. No, stop. I want to watch. That didn't take all that long. I didn't even lose that many ships, just some corvettes, I think. Yeah, I lost some destroyers, some cruisers. That was not that bad of a fight. So finally, soon, my empire will be whole. The Commonwealth of Man's beating the Ver Intersolar. Intriguing. The Udavongo Trading Coalition made a federation with the Compact of Kelsica. Okay, then. Consolidating power there. So this is all one big federation. Very interesting. I was not quite expecting that. Ask for association status, which when it comes to federations is basically a non-aggression pact with the federation as a whole, all of the members. Let's see if they accept that. Oh. See, it happened again. The Udavongo Trading Coalition made a federation. This is the exact same thing that happened to me. Federation with the Compact of Kelsica, and then the Compact of Kelsica just immediately left the federation. Wow. At least I'm not alone in the idea that Federations just do not last in this galaxy, apparently. Wow. Oh man, that's hilarious. So now what I'm doing, I'm moving all of my fleets to the Kandara system. Ah! I see. Well then, I guess I'm not going to be declaring war on Empire of Anon-Fasheen right now. For the first time in recorded history, the warring factions, the Bavi. Let's see, is that up here? No, down here. Bavi Free Warriors, just this right here, have united under a single Great Khan. This mysterious warlord, who according to some accounts is a powerful psychic, has emerged from their warrior caste and accomplished what most thought impossible. Through a combination of guile, charisma, and military genius, the newly crowned Great Khan has won the utter loyalty and devotion of all Bavi factions. Now that they are no longer busy killing each other, the Bavi are turning their attention elsewhere. Great fleets are massing for war, crewed by eager warriors who are now steadfast comrades in arms, despite having been mortal enemies mere months ago. A new threat is born. I'm going to go ahead and propose that I am nominated for Custodian. That'll cost me 300 influence. Emergency measure, actually. Sounds about right. And in the meantime, I will go ahead and start moving to deal with this threat. This is a mid-game crisis, so basically in the middle of the game, at about 50 years late, you can set which date it is, but something will happen. This is one of the options. I figured this would be the one that would happen. Usually it's the case. I don't think it'll be a threat. I mean, they're already only down to one system. They've already lost 2 of their systems, so I don't think they're going to get very far. Commonwealth of Man declared on Compact of Kelsica. Interesting. Oh, and the Human Foundation became a protectorate of the Commonwealth of Man. So the rebels from the Authority Covenant have switched over to the Commonwealth of Man. Very interesting. My mega doom stack approaches. Great Khan has taken out a couple of systems. They're doing some damage, but once my fleets arrive, I don't think they really stand a chance. Everyone's supporting me becoming the Custodian. When there's a galactic crisis, that is the time that you should try and become Custodian. That's the best time, because everyone needs a protector of the galaxy, basically. That was fast. The Great Khan meets defeat. In spite of his vaunted military genius, Skef Slipsalt, the Great Khan of the Bavi Horde, has met defeat within the Omox system. When the armada he was commanding was lost in battle against forces belonging to the Bellicmosa Blessed Council, the Great Khan and his closest officers fled into hyperspace in a small shuttlecraft. Even now, Skef's Slipsalt is very busy assembling a new armada to resume his conquest, but this victory has brought some much-needed respite to those who oppose the relentless advance of the Bavi Horde, so the Great Khan is not infallible. Sometimes mid-game, late-game crises will be vastly underprepared, and the galaxy will be absolutely screwed by them, but sometimes the galaxy has had enough time to build up that it's not much of a threat. Like in this case, I didn't even, help with that yet. And they're still doing some damage. Alright, delete the fleet. Oh, Skef Slipsalt has survived. It's only a minor setback. A second onslaught approaches. Won't be long now. Doomstack. Attack. And you're screwed. Goodbye. I'm going to divert 2 fleets to deal with this one up here. Should be pretty straightforward. And the rest of my fleets here will move this way. Actually, don't want to end the threat too early, because then I won't be getting nominated Custodian. So I have to leave them alive just long enough to get that vote to pass. Fantastic. My Strategic Coordination Center is finally done. That's great. So this gives me 150 naval capacity, 6 starbase capacity, 12 defense platforms cap, and the big one, a 15% sublight speed. Goodbye. The death of the Great Khan. Great Khan Skef Slipsalt is dead after his armada met with defeat a second time in the COD V system. The Great Khan made no attempt to escape his flagship when it was destroyed in battle by the United Nations of Earth. With their beloved leader gone, a vicious power struggle has erupted in the Bobby Horde. The Great Khan's warlords are now fighting each other for control over his empire. It remains to be seen who will emerge on top. Khan's great throne recovered. After sifting through the wreckage of the Great Khan's flagship, our forces have found a large blood-stained chair floating in space. This piece of furniture is in fact the Great Khan's throne. The relic has been placed in a secure vault. Relics. Great Khan's throne. Claim influence cost, drums of war, ship weapons damage, and military statics attraction. Galactic Custodian appointed. At last, the Galactic Senate has voted to bestow emergency custodianship powers upon the United Nations of Earth. In an official ceremony broadcast across the galaxy, we are appointed custodians of the galactic community. As the first among equals, we have been charged with safeguarding the galactic community from all potential threats, be they internal or external, who seek it harm. We have been granted vast powers in all community matters and can now propose special resolutions. Fantastic. And of course, the first thing I'm going to do is remove my term limit. Yeah. I mean, we wouldn't want to have me lose the powers at an inopportune time. You know. Horde reverts to old ways. The death of the Great Khan has also proved the killing blow for many reforms that were instituted by the Bavi to turn their organized marauder clans into a consolidated galactic empire. None of the warlords who succeeded the Great Khan have shown the least bit interest in continuing these reforms, and the Bavi have all reverted to the old ways of their violent marauder past. The Bavi are united no longer. It was inevitable, perhaps. Let's just finish off the Bavi. Right. I've done enough. I think the rest can deal with this on their own. So I'll move all my fleets back into position and prepare for war. Oh no, what happened this time? Human Confederation. Where is this? Here. I see. Greetings, human. We are freedom fighters, former slaves. This happened again. Not another compact of Kelsica humans rebelling. What the heck? No. I don't need another planet. Compact, what the hell are you doing? How has this happened a second time? So as the Galactic Custodian, you can spend influence to end a session once half of the session time has passed. Usually very worth it. So now I have an unlimited term as the Galactic Custodian. And they'd have to end it by a resolution. Otherwise, I'm set. Oh, the Bavi freeholders have been completely destroyed. This map must have not updated yet. So, some things to do before you declare war. Obviously, I like getting my fleets in position on the border. I like checking the hyperlanes. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and go into my edicts and enable exotic gases as fuel, exotic gases for shield boost, volatile ammunition, volatile explosives, volatile reactive armor, crystalline sensors, focusing crystals. That will help boost my ship's performance substantially. And then what I also like to do before I declare war is check who I'm actually declaring war on. So if I declare war on the Empire of Anon-Fasheen, I'll be declaring also on the Buvon Necromages, Bellicomosa Blessed Council, and Ganvius Prime. I should be able to take all of them at once. The reason that's important is if there is a defensive pact or something and you aren't prepared for it. Sometimes I've done that where I've declared war recklessly and I didn't check who they had alliances with or not. Led to some interesting situations in which I got into a much bigger war than I was anticipating. Just gonna prepare a army just so that in case I need it, it's already going. So I'm ready. Let's do this. Impose ideology.
This is a declaration of war.
Let's do it. Empire of Anon-Fasheen. It's been long enough. Click all my fleets. Move in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have half of my fleets go this route. Quickly claim these systems. And the other half of my fleets will go this route. Quickly claim those systems. And the important thing to do is you don't want your fleets wasting time. So ideally you split your fleets when necessary to go move simultaneously faster. But you also want to consolidate enough power that you can actually win battles. Capturing star bases is pretty important because that's where you can repair your fleets mid-fight if you need to. I'm splitting my fleets in half. They're going to go... That way I can occupy as much territory as quickly as possible.
Completed.
And then I'm going to start moving in my transport fleets.
Knowledge is
Oh, and the other thing I'm going to do is go into society management. I'm going to enable the Khan's Throne. That way I get the extra ship weapons damage. Alright. These fleets, the 1st Division, shall go here, here. Oh wow, they don't actually have that technology research. So if you see this little magnet, that means there's an FTL inhibitor, which essentially means that ships can't fly past the starbase. They have to engage and take it out. Once it's finished FTL, I'm gonna split the transport fleet in half. That way I can land on both planets simultaneously, because there's a starbase and an actual planet. And they're both weak, so I can do that. So it should be pretty straightforward. I guess I can land my armies over here since they were so quick. Help out. Not that it's going to make a difference. There you go. Got extra reserves. Combat width on planets, so you can only have so many armies actually engaged in combat at a time. So even though I added a bunch of extra armies to the planet, they aren't actually fighting. So it wouldn't have really mattered. I'll give my fleets a chance to repair for a second.
war report. Enemy planet secured.
All these fleets are repaired, so I'm going to move them in. This one can go over here. These 3 can go here, here, here. Okay. This is kind of what I was talking about. I made maybe a minor miscalculation. The Empire of Anon-Fashin is at war over here. And that means their fleets are over here, so they were able to get around to the side. Fortunately, I'm building up a new fleet that's pretty big, and I'll be able to hold them off from this side with that fleet in my starbases. So I'm not too concerned about this, but it is something to look out for. I did kind of make that mistake. Should be fine. I already have a fleet in position. Gonna send army reinforcements here. So I'm consolidating all my fleets into one massive doom stack right here. I'll see if I can pick apart any of their fleets. So at this point it's just kind of point and click, grab whatever systems I want. Don't forget to occasionally go back to your planets. Make sure that you're not like having a major crisis or anything. And my final ascension perk, Master Builders, is what I'm going to go for. So I've occupied 21 systems and 4 planets. I'm going to send 3 fleets, 4 fleets up this way to get that. And another 4 fleets down this way to get this. And at this point, I've occupied a good chunk of their territory. Once I can get their capital and some other stuff, I should be good. Let's see what you're doing up here. They have not dared go after my 21k fleet station. I'll eventually probably do more videos to talk about like when it's difficult what to do. But this is a war that I've prepared for a long time. Oh no, that's not good. The Ganvius Prime has developed specifications for Colossus-type weapon hull configuration, a weapon platform capable of potentially complete planetary destruction. That's not good. This is why we're at war. Oh no. The Free Warriors have taken some damage. This is time to make a new fleet. Create new fleet. Another Titan. Bunch of battleships. Thank you. I would like more fleets, please. Just keep an eye out for where the enemy fleets are. If you see them, make sure to pool your forces together so you can deal with them nice and easy. And if you have planets that you're not able to take out directly, you can send a fleet to orbit it, and that'll orbitally bombard the planet. I need to produce as much armies as I can. Probably should have built bigger armies before declaring war, but that's fine. The big thing when it comes to wars, if you have space superiority, if you control all of the star bases, they can't repair their fleets, they can't make new ships or whatever. So once you claim all of the star bases, you have as much time as you want to take the planets. And the other thing is I don't actually need to win the war. If I get a status quo, I can just flip whatever systems I can and just leave them really tiny and weak. And I've captured their capital system. Not the planets, just the starbase. A lot of their ships are over here. This is where most of their fleet is hanging out. Shall I go destroy it? Oh, here. That's good to know. They have a major fleet right there. 30,000. Let's take it out. That was a close call. They almost took back their capital. Fleet's a little battered up, but it should be fine. This is why capturing starbase is important. These fleets are trying to return to the starbase to repair, but they can't. They have to attack the starbase, and they're just all going to kill themselves on this starbase. They've lost 117 ships. Oh, they're panicked. They're panicked. They're running. They do not like that. They're like, oh, I'm out of here. They're leaving, I think. You can't escape. It's too late for you. It's too late. This is the big battle. Beautiful and horrible at the same time. So messy. Ah, glorious. Look at all of the destroyed ships. Fantastic. Look at that. They took a lot of casualties in that battle. Oh my gosh, that really just increased their war exhaustion a lot. 161 ships lost. Good job, team. Let's attack their capital. This is the big fight. This is the fight for their capital. What little remained of their fleet is taken some hefty damage. The planet of Anon-Fasheen has fallen. Compact of Kelsica made peace with the Udavongo Trading Coalition. So, one thing you can do if you have an enemy fleet roaming around and you're scared that they'll shoot down your armies is you can land them on an already occupied world or one of your worlds that you already own, if it's actually one of your worlds. And if you do that, they'll just, like, stay there on the planet, but they won't be, like, in the galaxy map or whatever. So it's a good way of protecting your planets or your armies so they don't get completely caught off guard and destroyed. Like this. They just did it. They would have destroyed my armies had I not garrisoned them there. I need to occupy the big hole system before I can end the war. The reason I want to do that is if I get this achieve war goal, I won't be able to get this achieve war goals most likely. It's too far away, but I can get this, and if I can get all of the Anon-Fasheen systems occupied, then I'll get mostly of my war goal. Their capital will remain loyal, but everything else will flip into another, so that's acceptable. Alright, this is the last planet.
Our forces are making planetfall.
Oh geez, what the hell is this thing? Xenomorph army. Oh no. These are tough. They're shredding my armies. I might need to retreat. Now I'll be able to do it. This is a hard planet to crack. I got it, but wow, that cost a lot.
War report. Enemy planet secured.
Alright, I'm just going to status quo. What this is going to do is all of the systems I have occupied will switch to my ideology as a new nation, and then their capital system, even though I've occupied it, will stay the Empire of Anon-Fashine. But that should significantly weaken them. So if I wanted to do a second war, I could. But I'm getting tired of this war, and going it to completion would just be way too expensive for me. So this is fine. We are forced to put an end to this without delivering proper justice, but you cannot escape the divine punishment that will befall you. We will accept this for now. So now the Kroll Star Legacy has formed established embassy, non-aggression pact, commercial pact, guarantee independence, and I'll send a envoy to improve relations so that I can get a defensive pact as well. And then all of my fleets can return home. I'd say this war was still a pretty good success, even though I didn't technically win it in its entirety. I still did manage to. Now all of the Empire of Anon-Fashine, it's literally just their capital system and this system adjacent to their capital system, and that's it. Apart from that, the rest is the Kroll Star League, which is now, and overall that severely weakens the power of the galaxy, shifts around the thing, and now I am 81,000 diplomatic weight, so that's pretty good. More important, what the heck's going on over here? Wait a second. Wait a second. Why did this system explode? And there's an Elder George here. Okay, that's concerning. I was just like looking over here and going like, oh, hey, why is there a big scary fleet, but that's not hostile to their system? What's going on with this? And then the whole system exploded. Okay. I'm not going to question it. That's kind of scary, but sure, whatever. They are willing to form a federation. Let's do it. Let's form a federation, finally. And what I'm going to do for this federation is I'm only going to accept people with identical ethics to me. This is a fun way of making sure that your federation's 100% uniform and has no cohesion penalty. So that'll be pretty good. So let's do it. An actual federation this time, maybe?
A momentous occasion.
Yay!
Federation.
And now, here's the cool thing. We have no opposing ethics, which means that we have no impact of cohesion based off of our ethics. So if we make sure that we always do liberation wars before inviting someone into the Federation, just please don't immediately break it like seems to be the trend in this galaxy. I do not like the border gore in this game. It is awful. Like this particular playthrough, the border gore has been awful. Oh wow, the Compact of Kelsica has been cut in half. What is going on? I hate the border gore. I hate it so much. I know I've said it, but I hate it. I hate the border gore. Alright, I'm going to call the episode there. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and if I finish the next episode, you should see it on screen about now. Alright, bye.